Hey, you could see me. I'm not John Cena for any of y'all that are young enough or old enough. When I stopped watching wrestling, John Cena was just coming up, and that was my exit. But I do remember his "you can't see me" thing, and uh, whenever there's pictures of him on the internet, like, why is that person just standing there with his arm around nothing? But it's John Cena. That's the joke because you can't see him. He's invisible. He should have been one of those invisible characters in what was it? He was in the DC universe. I don't know what character he played, but he couldn't see him. But uh, but just because you see me doesn't mean that I'm actually here. That's a mindset that can be difficult for some people. I know it's difficult for my little chunk because the majority of the time I'm working from home. So I am there in front of the computer, editing stuff, filming stuff, doing a lot of things like that, where my interaction with the chunk is very limited. He'll want to show me something. He wants to show me something with his toys. He wants to show me something in a different room or upstairs or outside or this or that. And I try and do my best not to ignore him and for 30 seconds give him some attention. And he understands that daddy is working, and he also appreciates that daddy is working at home, and he gets kind of upset when I have to leave to go do work, when I'm filming on location or when I'm deployed with Grindstone, different things like that. He understands it, but it bothers him that I'm away. Uh, when when he starts to get too irritable or emotional when I'm gone for long periods of time, my wife, she does such a great job with him, and she will FaceTime me or some type of video chat, or she would want me to, throughout the day, like if I'm in a place that doesn't have service, record videos and send it, and then he ends up watching them over and over and over again so that he can feel that connection when I'm away. So when I'm home, I try to make sure that I take breaks and we will go out for a hike, we'll go walk to the creek, we'll come outside, play with the dogs. So he doesn't feel neglected as if I was grinding out in an office for 8 hours a day and I wouldn't see him. Then I would get home and eat dinner, and then it's time for him to go to bed. And that's the only existence that we have. And I only see him on a weekend, can only spend time with him on a weekend. And that's partially my time to unwind, or my wife's time to unwind. But with me working from home, I like I will let her know, like, hey, I'm finishing up this project or this podcast or these videos, and they have to process. So for the time that those are processing, that's my time with the chunk. So if you want to come hang out with us, cool. If you want to go uh, unwind or just was it that term veg out, you can do that. So sometimes that's what she'll do. She'll go take a nap. She'll go take a shower. It gives my wife some her time while the chunk and I focus on his time, where we go exploring. We go look at plants. We use one of those apps. What is it? Plantanium. We'll find different plants and take a picture of it, scan it, see if it's toxic, if it's poisonous or anything, if the dogs can eat it, or if it's good or healthy for us, or if the plant is healthy, we go do that. And then he wants to, if there's water in the creek, he wants to go throw rocks in the creek or use his walking stick or go splash in the creek. It's a lot of time that I'm so grateful for what it is that I do that allows me the freedom to stop what I'm doing to go spend time with him. Now, this has been a bit of a journey uh, with being within a place but not being there. When I was still fighting, one of the reasons why I am retired from fighting, not only because of my record or anything, I just love the grind. The My wife, she loves the output. She loves the results, especially when I win, but she does not love when I am preparing for a fight because my time is 100% dedicated to my fight training. So that leaves little to no time for her, no mental focus for her. Like I'm there, but I'm not there because I'm not there for her. So that is something, get out of here, buzzing bug. That is something that really bothered her, where she would see me for hours at a time. And within those hours, I would say one thing to her. Whether I'm getting in from work, I'd say hi, and then it's right back out the door to go train. And then once I'm done training, it's home to train for a few more hours until I pass out on the mats. That's when we lived back in New Jersey. I had a gym set up down in the basement where had mats, had a heavy bag, and would get home and put in that training time because I had a day job. I was doing local truck driving that would take me away so that I couldn't train. So then I would uh, go to Lucky Devil at the time. This is after Endgame kind of folded. Lucky Devil sprung up. This is also after Roski Combat Sports. And Tom and I, we would get our rounds in, then come home and put in another couple hours because I got a fight to get ready for. And I have to be prepared, not only mentally, but physically. So that shuts off the rest of the world. And I'm there, but I'm not there. I My wife's mental needs, my wife's communication needs were not met. So that put a really bad strain on her, and I had to learn then how to change my focus or give her 10 to 20 minutes of dedicated focus time where I'm not calculating in my brain about what I need to do next. I need to just shut everything down and it's her time. And then she started to respect that and understood that I'm doing all that I can to focus on her when she knows what I have coming up, that I have a fight coming up, that I have to be prepared for that, that I have to stay on top of my food regimen, my training regimen, my conditioning regimen, and just be mentally there and focused. So I'm grateful for her to have gone through that and all the other fighter wives get out of here, bug, that deal with people in our profession. The next part of the learning journey with my wife is I'm here, but I'm not here is when I started doing over the road truck driving, because 11 hours legally, I would be driving and flying down the highway, have my headphones on, listening to podcasts or watching Bear Independent, and she would be there in a truck with me. We would get up at a truck stop, go inside, shower, get our day started, go back to the truck, make breakfast and coffee and stuff, and get on the road. So she would be up front with me. Maybe we were listening to, was Opie and Anthony still on at that point? Either Opie and Anthony or Jim and Sam. And we would listen to that for an hour or two, or if she wanted to listen to something else, and we would talk for that first hour or two. Then maybe she wanted to go take a nap, or she wanted to put on her headphones and listen to something. But if she wanted to take a nap, she would hop in the back bunk, and it was our mini apartment on a semi truck. And then we wouldn't talk for hours. Then if we'd stop for lunch or something like that, uh, that would be our downtime of where I can focus on her. Then back on the road. If I was going to a delivery that day, we make the delivery. But if not, we would park. We would either cook something in the truck or go to a restaurant or something like that. And it was like a date night type thing that would happen nightly. And then back to the truck and hang out, talk for a little bit. I'd go outside, I'd work out for a little bit, then hop back in the truck, and we would go to sleep and do it all over again. So I think that me going through flight preps with her prepared her for being on the road, which then prepared her for dealing with the chunk when he's missing me, because she understood through her experiences of how I am here but I'm not here. So that's something that everyone needs to work out. They definitely need to be present, but even if they are there physically, they need to take a moment from whatever it is that they're doing to be present in their family's lives, so that their family don't start to neglect or resent them from being there and not paying attention to them. Hey, when football was young and his mother and I didn't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff and got put on child support, and then the whole visitation crap, where I would get him every other weekend. So every other weekend, and I was a an athlete that was also a nightclub bouncer and doing bodyguard work. So the time that I would get with him, I'm working overnight, and then he would stay with my mother or another family member or something. Then I would get home like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and well, actually 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to sleep for maybe an hour or two, and then wake up and dedicate that entire time with him so he wouldn't feel neglected, even though I could assume that he did. I'll ask him about that one day, or maybe he'll watch this and he'll answer for himself if he felt neglected. But I would put all the time and effort that I could in those little blocks of time that I had with him, because I knew what was next. Like my weekends with him, sometimes we would go up to Endgame or to Lucky Devil because I was getting ready for a fight and I had to get that training in, and didn't want to miss those days, but I also didn't want to miss that time with him. And then I also needed to work So my sleep was very minimal during those times. Not to say that it's any better now. Actually, it's a little bit better. I get what 5 to 6 hours of sleep now, as opposed to 45 minutes to 2 hours way back when. But being intentional is really important. You just have to be intentional and be present the best that you can when you have the time for it. Don't neglect the people that you care about, because one day they'll neglect you and forget about you, and then that's it. So, y'all have a blessed day. Hopefully, this message touches somebody's heart and they recognize what they need to do. Y'all have a blessed day. Shalom.